All right, hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to take a look at my 2020 Pedalboard rig. So this is one of my favorite setups I've had in a long time as far as worship and rock as well. So I'm going to take you through a little tour here and show you what I got going on the board. And FYI, I'm using a PRS SE Custom 24 and I'm running into an Orange Crush amp. So let's take a look at what the rig sounds with no pedals on, just completely dry with nothing on. So you may notice that I do run into a clean amp for worship. I know that's kind of not the usual, but the way I get my delays and reverbs to saturate without amp gain is by putting a delay pedal before my overdrives. That achieves the same kind of sound. It sounds crazy, but stick around and you will find out how it sounds. It sounds really killer. So the first pedal in my chain is the Boss Compressor Sustainer. It kind of rounds out my tone, gives me a little compression sustain. Let's see what that sounds like with and without. Yeah, so that grabs the signal and kind of pushes it, keeps going sustaining. That sounds awesome. I keep that on pretty much all the time just to keep everything a little bit more consistent. Next up in my chain is the mini Dunlop volume pedal. This thing does its job great. No complaints here. It's great for swells, obviously. So couldn't be happier with that. That's working out great. Next in the chain is the delay pedal that is before my distortions. So I leave this on pretty much all the time unless I'm doing some like cleaner stuff. This does a really great job at saturating the delay. Now, why don't we take a look at reverb and delay, because I keep that on pretty much all the time as far as worship. So here I'm using the Keeley Caverns. This thing works great for reverb and delay. I mostly use it for reverb and then put this delay before the distortions. So let's take a look at that reverb sound. That's some really, really nice wide reverb. Sounds awesome. So now why don't we take a look at my overdrive setting. I have 3 stages of overdrive so that I can kind of build up a song with distortion. So why don't we take a look at my stage 1 overdrive, the Boss Super Overdrive. You can use this for clean and kind of crunchy, low gain stuff. That works really great for lower gain kind of stuff. And then for my second stage drive, I have the Morning Glory from JHS. This thing sounds killer. This is my main rhythm kind of sound, or like quieter lead line sound. So here's what this pedal sounds like. That thing is killer. One of my favorite pedals of all time. And then for my third stage drive, I add the Boss Blues driver on top of the Morning Glory because it's basically adding a hotter signal into the Morning Glory because the Morning Glory is so awesome. I want to add a little bit more into it so that it's kind of keeps the same sound but just a little bit louder, a little bit more saturated. So this is what that sounds like with some lead lines. That is a killer sound right there. That is almost everything. Why don't we take a look at comparing the carbon copy delay on and off with this lead drive sound? You can hear a massive difference with the saturated delay sound. So why don't we start with it off? And now on. That just adds this thing in the atmosphere that's just really, really awesome for worship. It makes everything kind of just clash a little bit more. So that's awesome. I keep that on all the time. That is why you experiment with different ways of putting pedals in your pedalboard chain. So I found this works great for me, and so I keep that there all the time. Let's look at some octaves. I use the TC Electronics Sub and Up. This works great for if I'm doing a lead line really high up, it'll give me an octave down and a little bit of an octave up. So why don't we see what that sounds like with the lead tone. So you can see that adds a lot. Here's without. And with. And especially in a mix, that just adds a lot of body to your sound without having to crank the bass knob on your amp. So that's a really awesome tool there for bringing out your lead lines. It also works great if you want to do kind of like a subby, rhythm kind of patch. If you're playing rhythm guitar, you can add a lot of body this way. So that is what that sounds like. And finally, I have a TC Electronics Polytune. This thing works great for tuning my guitar. I've been using it for years. And guys, that is everything on my pedal board. Guys, I hope you enjoyed listening to this. You can hear this board on all the covers I do and that I'm playing guitar on, at least. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel to subscribe, like this video if you like this content. I have a lot more like this on my channel. Check it out. And guys, I will see you in next week's video. See you later.